What happened when one of the most powerful men in music steps into a courtroom not as an icon, but as a man forced to defend his name? When silence was no longer an option, Jay-Z didn't just testify, he exposed the truth behind the rumors, the smoke, and the silence that surrounded Diddy's downfall. This is the moment it all changed. The courtroom had just settled after hours of legal maneuvering. The prosecution was preparing to reintroduce evidence tied to Cassie Ventura's explosive testimony. Diddy's lawyers sat relaxed, flipping through paperwork like they'd already won. That's when the doors opened, without warning, without fanfare, and in walked Jay-Z. He wasn't there for headlines. He was wearing a midnight navy suit so sharp it looked like armor. No entourage, no Beyonce, no Roc Nation reps flanking him, just him. A living legend stepping into a room that hadn't expected him, not under oath, not under scrutiny. Gas filled the air. Journalists dropped their pens. Cassie leaned forward, whispering to her attorney. Even the judge raised an eyebrow. Jay-Z took the stand. He swore under oath. Then he said something that changed everything. "I came here because silence ain't an option no more." That single sentence sent shockwaves through the room. Because when Sean Carter speaks, people listen. Not the mogul, not the rapper, the man. And this wasn't just a testimony, it was a reckoning. He didn't waste time denying everything. He didn't come with blanket denials, he came with context. Yes, he attended Diddy's events, but what he saw and what he was told were two different realities. "I saw setups," he said, "NDAs, confiscated phones, back rooms with curtains. I never went in those rooms. I never signed those papers. But I knew something wasn't right." That admission broke the courtroom wide open. It wasn't just about being present. It was about witnessing the system behind the parties, the power plays disguised as fun. He described one event in 2015 in Miami: masks, leather, high heels. One man walked past him, barely dressed, looking terrified. Jay-Z left early that night. He called his own ride. He didn't want his name attached to whatever was happening behind closed doors. Then the prosecution dropped the photo. A leaked image of Jay-Z, Diddy, LeBron James, and Beyonce in a room with a masked man kneeling on a velvet pillow. Jay-Z stared at it in silence before speaking. "I was told it was performance art. I didn't laugh, I didn't stay." He turned toward Diddy. "You knew people trusted you. You used that." Diddy's jaw dropped. For the first time in weeks, he looked shaken. But the real bombshell came next. Jay-Z revealed a private conversation from late 2018. Diddy had called him, warning, "They're coming for me. You gotta be careful who you stand next to." Jay-Z asked point blank, "Did you do anything I can't come back from?" Diddy allegedly replied, "It's just parties, Jay, just experiences. Nobody gets hurt unless they want to." That moment changed everything. Jay-Z stopped answering Diddy's calls. He pulled out of collaborations. He distanced himself from bad boy projects. He even warned his team to keep Roc Nation away from whatever Diddy was building. Then the prosecution brought up an email exchange from early 2020. Jay-Z's legal team had been warned that NDAs from past events might be weaponized against those who were present, even if they weren't involved. Jay-Z nodded. "I knew what that meant. They were going to use silence as a shield. I wasn't about to get caught behind it." He finished that part with a line that made headlines before the court even recessed. "He used to be my brother. Now I see who he really was and who I almost became by standing too close." But then came the emotional pivot. Jay-Z shifted from defending his actions to protecting his family. "I need to speak about my family," he said, voice thick with emotion. "Because when my name gets dragged, so does theirs." Jurors leaned in. Reporters stopped typing. Even Diddy looked up. Jay-Z described how Blue Ivy had come to him, asking what a freakoff was, how paparazzi camped outside their home, how headlines blurred fact and fiction, turning his life into a tabloid war zone. "This wasn't business drama or career competition," he said. "This was a nuclear bomb dropped on our family. And the worst part, it was all based on a lie." He pulled out flight records. On the night of the alleged Miami freakoff in 2015, he and Beyoncé were in Paris. Hotel receipts, photographs, eyewitnesses, all verified. He wasn't there. He didn't stop there. He called out the culture of clickbait and unverified gossip that allowed these rumors to thrive. When did we stop demanding proof? He asked. When did accusation become conviction? He emphasized that his reputation wasn't just his own. It was tied to Beyoncé's, to Blue's, to his entire legacy. I've spent decades building something clean, he said, something that lifts our community, and in a single headline smeared with no evidence, it all gets thrown away. He addressed the infamous party at Gloria Estefan's mansion, the one where he was supposedly seen during a freak-off event. I have never attended a party at Gloria Estefan's house, he said firmly. Not in Miami, not anywhere. He presented timelines, security logs, charity programs, photos with the mayor. Every piece of evidence backed him up. But the real damage, he argued, wasn't the lies themselves. It was how fast they spread. You don't need a lie to be loud, he said. You just need it to be repeated. He criticized media outlets for repeating claims without verification. His name had been dragged not because of any witness, but because of a pattern of attending Diddy's events years ago. That's what this has come to, he said. I once went to a brunch, so now I'm complicit in everything this man's accused of. Then he addressed the ocean of conspiracy theories, Illuminati ties, Epstein connections, accusations of murder by association, Aaliyah's death, Tupac, Michael Jackson. I've been called a lot of things in this industry, he said, but Illuminati puppet, master manipulator, murder by association, that's a new one. He held up a Reddit thread speculating about his inner circle with Beyoncé and Diddy. This is what passes for journalism now, he said. Thousands of upvotes, zero facts. He admitted that silence may have made it worse. I thought the truth would be obvious, he said. Maybe I underestimated how fast lies travel when they come with good production value and ominous music. He ended with a final plea. I'm not asking you to like me, he said. I'm asking you to listen, to think, to demand proof, because if we don't draw the line here today, then none of us are safe from what comes next. The room fell silent. Then the lead prosecutor stood, aggressive, calculated, known for shaking even the most polished celebrities. Mr. Carter, he began, you say you were never at Gloria Estefan's house. Your documents support that, but you've attended Diddy-hosted events in the past. Did you ever witness anything inappropriate at any of those events? Jay-Z hesitated. Not for long, but enough for everyone to notice. No, he clarified, I saw celebrities networking, music playing, the usual. And you never saw Cassie Ventura at one of these events, or anything that made you uncomfortable? Cassie was often present, he admitted. She was Diddy's partner. But he never saw her in distress, never witnessed the abuse she described. So, when you hear now what she's claimed about coercion, about abuse, about the so-called freak-offs, you're completely blindsided? I didn't see it, Jay-Z replied, and if I had, I wouldn't have stayed quiet. The prosecutor shifted gears. That's what Russell Simmons said too. Objection, sustained. But the implication lingered. Jay-Z's final words cut through the tension. I'm not here to protect Diddy, he said. I'm here to protect my name, and if I was part of that world, if I even suspected it, I wouldn't be testifying. I'd be on trial. He stepped down from the stand, adjusted his jacket, glanced toward the gallery where Beyoncé wasn't seated, but her absence felt heavy. He exited through the side door. The courtroom remained buzzing. Murmurs, head shakes, gasps, reporters scrambled, social media exploded. Headlines flashed instantly. Jay's break silence, Jay-Z versus prosecution, Beyoncé and family defended from Diddy ties inside the room. Something deeper was unfolding. Juror 4 scribbled furiously. Juror 9 stared at the empty chair. An alternate juror bit his pen cap, eyebrows furrowed. A former bad boy intern wiped tears during recess. He talked like he didn't know, she whispered. But we saw him at those events. Maybe he didn't see what we saw, or maybe he just looked away. Cassie remained unreadable, but when Jay-Z's voice cracked mentioning Blue Ivy, she briefly looked up, not with empathy, more like a question. Was he protecting his family or protecting himself? Even Diddy showed signs of strain. He tapped his pen faster, scanned the room. Jay-Z's denials had hit him harder than he expected. The ship was sinking, and everyone was trying to find a lifeboat. Back at Roc Nation, the mood was tense. No official statement yet, only a brief quote from Jay-Z's attorney. Mr. Carter testified truthfully and courageously. We stand by his integrity. Within 12 hours, every major outlet dissected his testimony. Some praised his transparency. Others called it calculated damage control. Beyoncé's name trended globally for 36 hours straight. Her publicist declined to comment. Fans were divided. Some fiercely defended her. Others questioned how deep the couple's connection to Diddy really went. Meanwhile, the prosecution regrouped. Jay-Z hadn't shattered their case, but he had complicated it. He humanized himself, distanced his family, redirected the spotlight. But in doing so, he raised another issue: the industry's pattern of plausible deniability. The DA released a quiet statement. While Mr. Carter's testimony was significant, our investigation remains ongoing and extends beyond any one individual. Translation: this isn't over. Then came the wild card. 50 Cent posted a photo of Jay-Z on the stand with the caption, "Nice performance, but we ain't forgot them brunches, my guy." It went viral instantly. In the days that followed, other celebrities reemerged. Alicia Keys reposted a quote about truth cutting through silence. Questlove tweeted cryptic emojis. Even Oprah posted a vague story about building from ashes. Jay-Z's reputation had taken a hit, but it hadn't collapsed. His testimony marked a moment where silence was no longer an option. And in a case full of twists, one truth was clear. The courtroom wasn't just trying Diddy, it was trying an entire era of power, proximity, and protection. Jay-Z had survived the stand, but the real trial, the trial of legacy, was just beginning. So now we ask, in a world where accusation often replaces truth, who decides what really happened?